Oh, hello. I thought that just said something on my channel there, and I was like, "Excuse me." I was watching a flat earther video, and on those videos, it will come up the flat earther wiki underneath. And I just clicked my channel, and it said flat earther wiki, and I was like, "Excuse me," but I think it was just like loading the other description, and then going, "Whoops, nope, this is your description," and loading my one. That's really strange. Uh, huh? Hallelujah. 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 Why is Shrek's song stuck in my head? There was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. Was that the first or the second one? Was that when he's like, he gets left by Fiona? Or like she's gone to the kingdom and he's like there all sad? Is that it? It's a chord and it's a broken hallelujah. I'll probably get copyrighted if I sing that though. I get copyrighted for anything. I'll sneeze and I'll get a copyright claim. Oh, that sounded like this sneeze. Someone's claimed it. Oh, you took someone else's sneeze, Steve. I get copyright strikes for everything. Not like the serious strike, but the one where you lose ads on your videos. I haven't had an ad on like a stream in so long. Like, I kind of want to have a look. Let's just fix up my thingy first. Ooh, that's me talking. It is now live. Pop out. Yeah. Oh wait, I literally lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? So if my channel doesn't make me feel too bad when I see someone like this streamer who I've watched this streamer back in university. So he's been going for like 7 to 8 years strong, and he still only has 105 concurrent viewers. So that makes me feel a bit better. Although his full follower count is 70k, which is pretty good. I didn't even see him on his channel. Anyways. I can't cover that up. Let's go get Hamlin up. I've got Dr. Pepper and Amaretto. We're drinking tonight, lads. I did 9,000 steps, so not quite my 10k, but that's fine. 1,000 steps less, 10% less exercise today. And in fact, I've probably done those steps throughout the day anyway without realizing. Because my toilet is probably at least 100 to 200 steps away because I got to walk down my staircase. This is a pretty small house, not it's my parents. I got to walk down a staircase, go around, and then walk basically through the entire house into a little extension, and that's what a toilet is. So it's not a big house, but because I'm basically the furthest possible position away from the toilet, I probably get the most steps in, having to and from, but I don't keep my phone on me, and that's what counts my steps. So I've done 9,200 steps. I've probably done about 800 just monging around the house. Now, is 10,000 steps, sorry, is 10,000 steps enough exercise for the day? Probably not, but that's fine. Oh, I shouldn't show you this. No, hide it. I can't reveal the secrets of my work. Get out of here. Did you see anything there? Big office. Cannon, flying boat for testing. Ah, there is a spoiler there. I mean, nothing too big though. Did a noise yesterday. I don't know how to come through. Wait. Like, not yesterday. It was like Wednesday. I was like, and I was on call with somebody, and I don't know. I was just bored, and I was like, let me do it. Basically, do you know the thing? Do that, but you hit your lips at the same time. It's really hard to time it. Something like that. And my friend I was on call was like, what was that sound? I was like, he was really shocked. He was like, what was that sound? I was like, just me making random noises. He was like, that was amazing. I was like, was it? Okay, so I think when it comes to texturing and stuff, like I kind of want to do bubbling and stuff in these actual potions, but we can always make materials later. If I did that, I'd have to ID mask them out, which would be fine because they've got a emissive mask. So they've probably technically ID masked out already, right? If I come into the actual, like we can always just do a test really fast. So if I come into the actual material, we've got an emissive texture, right? If we look at the emissive texture on like the body, so torso, you will see we already have, it's basically ID'd out. And then all we got to do is, for example, use the blue mask, because blue mask seems to encompass, all of them seem to encompass everything, but let's fit. Yeah, I mean, what I can do, I could probably just do blue mask. So what you'll see, and I'll show you an example. Because like a big part of doing materials is understanding, like a big part of anything when it comes to it, like the fancy stuff you see when it comes to materials, is knowing how to mask things out in a very unique way and then using those masks to create something. It's the same with my water shader, right? If we look at my water shader, I'm telling it to do something very specific, sorry. Pacific. Did I say Pacific? Let's load up my water shader. My water shader is only like 10 megabytes in size. I was like, damn, it makes sense because it's only got 2 normal maps in it in the entire project. Everything else I'm making through nodes. So it doesn't have any extra meshes and stuff to, it was all coming from the engine, right? So if you've got the engine installed, you're not using, well, obviously you need the engine to install to use it, but you're not using any additional content to run my shader, really. Just a shader graph. Now, if someone takes a picture of this, they can actually replicate this, but that'll probably take you a lot of time, so I'm not too fast if you guys do that. But if we open up the actual material, here's the message. Very Atlantic, exactly. No, Pacific. I don't know if I actually say Pacific sometimes, but I probably get in the bad habit if I do, because my parents say it all the time. And I don't like to use my parents as a blame for something like that, but it's difficult. So, as you can see, this is kind of a complex shader to begin with. Go inside it, doesn't actually look as complex. Like, it's quite organized out. Like, some of you may say, wow, no, that's a lot. Materials change drastically. So, for example, with foam bits, what I'm doing in here is I'm taking... So, ignore all of this. It's just well positioned. It's only on RNG, though. I can't enable the B on that. No, break it. That means it won't work on, like, a globe. I wonder if there's a way to do that so it will work on a globe. I want to make the material as good as possible. I keep wanting to improve it. Oh, we are breaking it. Oh, no, we're breaking it into 3 different directions. Hold on a minute. Oh, yeah, look. You can see it's not working on edges. Yeah, look. So it'll work on the top and it'll work on the bottom, but work on the edges. So it'd be nice if I can make this work on the edges. I think all I'd need to do is make alternate ones, because basically that's an inverted one, so I'd need to have one, so that's this not including B, so I'd need to duplicate this 3 times. At least that's the complex way to do it, or the simple way, but have more complex shader stuff in it. And then basically leave out G, do another one, and leave out R, and then all this needs to be replicated down and then combined at the end, and it should, sorry, this is me just, I wasn't actually going to do this, but this is out of nowhere, this is kind of interesting to see if I can resolve this issue. Now, I think this is the simple way to fix it, but it makes it overly complex, I think. Now, I don't even know if this is going to work, but if we do that, so we're not including R, we're not including G, and we're not including B, then all we've got to do at the end is multiply all three together. Oh. Now, maybe this won't work because it's combining the floats, but... And I'm not smart enough to know really what that means. Huh? Oh. Oh, because it's multiplying, it's producing that value. So we're probably needing to add, right? We need to add instead. Because multiplying is going to be multiplying those like 0.4 values and stuff. Although, no, what you could do is add 1 to all of them, then divide it by 3 at the end. Try just adding them together first. Or actually, no, yeah, if we add all 3 of them and then divide 3... Because if the value was 1 on all 3, right, I'll get to the value of 3, then divide that by 3, you're getting it between the value of 0 and 1 again, because the max value it can reach is a 1. So if it's a 0.4, that 0.4 times 3 times is now 1.2. Divide that by 3, you get back to a 0.4, so it averages them all out into a ratio between 0 and 1. At least it should do mathematically. So if I touch that here, we should have a shader that works on all axes. Oh, but you can see where they overlap. That's very interesting. I'm kind of curious what that looks like, though. I want to see if that works. Because it means I could make a sphere with this water shader on it, which would be really cool. Because I think that's the only thing that breaks on this shader. But the problem is, it's going to be overlaying those directions. So on a z-axis, this should look identical. And I've also made it significantly more complex. There's probably a way to do this without duplicating it a lot. But if you look at a lot of Unreal shaders, they do tend to duplicate a lot. So maybe this is the best way. Because it's an absolute world and it's only on one axis. So what is it doing? It's been so long. What am I panning? What information am I getting here? Nothing, right? I've got no... Oh, whoops, no, don't convert to a parameter, sorry. Start previewing. I've got no texture or anything that's being masked. This should just be our B value, or our reverse. It should be our RNG value. What's going on here? I must have learnt this on a video, because otherwise I'd know exactly what's going on. Oh, here, noise. That's where it's generating it, right? So this should generate it. So why is masking it on RNG? I like to sweep under the rug approach and make my dupes a function. Yeah, right. Yeah, well, this is a function, because if I go into here, look, it's being used here. So all of that information is in one little function. See that? And then that function gets added to other bits. Why did I come into here in the first place? Oh, right, learning how to mask things out in a unique way. So if we look at, like, well, I gotta wait for it to bake now, to compile the shaders now. But if you looked at the water shader a second ago, it has like a effect where it comes out from the sides, right? And it's there's two ways, two interesting things. In fact, we've got another shader over here. Oh, it's done it to all of them. Oh, right, because the function was being used for all of them. Damn it. Yeah, it does the thing when it comes out from the edge, and it looks like it's got like waves, not waves, but like foam coming out, right? And then you've got like a solid foam line that's around the edge. That is this depth fades, right? Distance field, sorry. That's distance field. So what distance field is, it's determining how far away something is from a surface. That's a simple way of putting it. Distance fields are much more complex than that. I think, well, I don't think. I know you can visualize them, but I can't remember where. There's custom depth. Custom depth is interesting. I've been using a lot of custom stencil at work. Shading mode. Scene depth. It won't be scene depth. That would be just a distance away. Yeah, look, as you can see, it gets darker. So that's a good way. So if you've got a scene depth on something, right, you can determine what that shader is going to do from a scene depth. So if you want an effect that's going to be a different value further away from the camera, you can use a scene depth to determine this. Don't ignore the sky sphere. Right? So look, as I get further... Oh, it plays like a secondary one. What? Oh, right. So that's just because it's looping. If we lock those values between the saturate, at this point, it should just go pure white, and at this point, it should go pure black or vice versa. So like, as we get close, it gets darker. So if you wanted the material to change its effect as you got closer, you could. Now, the smart thing is learning what that could be used for. Because learning how to set up a scene depth is very easy. Like, if we go into the material quick, and we're just writing scene depth, boom, we've got it. Whoops. Now we can use the values that come out of here to do what I'm showing you in the engine. Why did that compile shaders more? I didn't save it. And yeah, then it's learning how you want it to do. So you can make it so when you get closer to an object, it gets brighter. It gets an emissive value on it. And it gives you the effects that your camera is causing things to become energized when you're close to them, right? You could do something like that. You can make it so when you get close to something, it becomes transparent, right? So that way when you get really close, you don't want your camera to clip through it, right? You don't want it to do this effect. But when you get close, it's like oh, ignore the what. So when you get close to something, instead of having this clip effect, it starts becoming transparent, so that way you can see through it, and you don't have to worry about your character being behind it. Very, very simple effect. You can make that more complex if you want, but if we were to set up a basic shader to just demonstrate that, no. Behind object. And it was scene depth, right? Now, I usually use pixel depth. And what I believe pixel depth does is determine it, depending on how big the pixel is, it does the effect. So it actually kind of has a similar effect in the end when you're trying to do something like this. But if we now, I think you got to divide it. What does that look like? It should still look black and white, right? Because it's not determining on screen position or world position, I don't think. Although it is a red. It is a red one. It's one of those red ones. Not sure. Okay, so if we go divering, diver AA, plug that into there, plug that into, I believe, opacity mask. Turn on opacity mask. Transparent. Oh, okay, no, it's not a transparency. It's a opacity. We go translucent. It's not showing me a texture over here, so that's a little bit worrying. Okay, I can't see anything over here. I don't know what that's going to do because we're not seeing... Oh, look, my water's back. Oh, so I've broken... Oh, no, have I broken it? I'm not seeing the foam appear anywhere. Oh, I am. The foam is appearing, but it's just very, very weak. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. Yeah, let's see what this is doing. So I can see it there. So if we get close... Is it differing? I can't tell. Well, it would work if I knew how to set it up correctly. But yeah, if you knew how to set it up correctly, you'd get the effect I just mentioned. So the water isn't doing quite what I want because the foam bits aren't being generated. So that could just mean the values are too low. So this is why if you're doing a tutorial, you plan it out first. So that way you don't run into issues and make yourself look like an idiot. Bits. Amount of foam bits. So if we turn the amount of foam bits up, hopefully... Yeah, there you go. So they are having like a grid pattern to them now, which is interesting, which I probably could find a way to resolve. But if I do something like that, right. Now, the cool thing about this is if I put this on a sphere now, it used to break, but it should, theoretically, because it's the only thing I think that used to break on it. It might not be. We'll have a check. If I put that on here now... So what's happening here is this has a distance. It's affecting distance fields of itself. Turn that off. So now we should have a sphere that just looks like water that gets foam bits appearing on it. Yeah, look at that. And if we put a cube in there, look, whoa. So if you wanted to make a little, interesting. So the normal map, I guess, isn't, oh no, because it gets transparent. Oh, it's the translucency messing up. Priority. Maybe to the priorities. No. Interesting. But that's annoying, is you get a weird... On this side, it's fine, but you get weird effects on this side, where you can basically see through it. Is it because it's two-sided? If I turn off two-sided, will we resolve that issue? I like how this is supposed to be a Hamlin stream. I didn't even know what I called my stream. Oh, well. So if I come into here, two-sided, yes. And then we turn off I thought I fixed them. We turned off two-sided. Because if I can get a sphere version of this working, that'd be really, really cool. Because again, it would make it so you could actually kind of make a small planet. Not really what the shader's intended for, but the more flexible I can make it, the better. It's still compiling more shaders, though. You'd think 85 would compile pretty fast. I don't know if it's my PC or what. But look, it's still stuck on 85. Please. Please. To be fair, you'd probably have a sphere inside it. Come on. Go faster than 85. I hate watching it not move. There you go. I know it's probably doing something in the background. It's just not showing me. But it's still frustrating seeing something stuck at 85. Or a singular number and not moving. You know, one controversial topic that I don't want to completely touch on, but I did mention it some earlier, is I hate when someone's really judged for supporting, not supporting, but enjoying an art that is made by someone who basically is a scumbag, right? Now, don't get me wrong, that could be a universal thing or it could be an opinionated thing. At the end of the day, thinking someone's a horrible person is technically opinionated. Even if they are literally like a murderer who is horrible to everybody, who just kills people that they meet, you know, still is technically subjective. If someone goes, oh no, I aspire to be like that. But when it comes to a generic view of somebody, that would be considered a horrible person. What I don't like, oh, so does this work now? Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's so cool. That works so well. Obviously, it goes inside it. Oh, and it has the effect working, where when it goes deep in it, and when you get close, it gets transparent. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Turn off grid. Oh, whoa. It places it on the surface. Oh, what? Even in this direction? That shouldn't do that, because look, I'm dragging it. I'm dragging it only on X and Y, so it should not go up or down at all, but clearly it doesn't seem to play by the rules. Have we got some form of snapping? Oh, we do. That'd be why. That's the only problem with this shader as well, is when something's still away from the surface, it still generates the foam. It doesn't have to make contact with it. Now, I wonder if there's a way to make it so when it's a certain distance still above its normal origin point, it won't generate the foam. That's really big brain though, and I wouldn't know where to start on doing that. So can I do this with any shape? Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so cool. I don't know about you guys, but I get very excited about my own assets a lot. I don't think that's a good thing, right? I don't think that's a bad thing. I feel like being excited about your own work can only be a good thing. So yeah, that'd be like the core of the Earth if it's a flooded Earth, for example. And that could be parts coming out. In fact, that could be mountains coming out. You know, this could just be not very, very spherical mountains, but you know, it could be like little islands, right? That's so cool. Okay, so I wonder if that's a bad way to do it, though. I bet there's still a better way to make that shader, but that's the first thing that came to mind, was duplicating it so that way we can calculate all three different directions. I don't know if I want to keep that. What changes have I made? I could always... Because I don't want to push it and make it more complex for everybody having the shader, right? Like... That's not very optimized, I can't imagine. Maybe I'll talk to... I know someone who's pretty good at materials. Maybe he'll have a better way to do it. Like, what am I doing right now? I'm doing one direction here. Oh, right. So, okay, so what I'm doing here, for those who may not realize, I didn't even realize, is I've calculated its direction and saying, okay, only put it on the Z-axis. And then I'm telling it to pan a noise node. So that's the way I get these foam bits. Isn't a texture. I'm using a noise node, and I'm changing the value of the noise node. Am I changing it differently on all of them? No, they're all duplicated. I'm changing the value of that noise node to to basically generate those. Hey mate, is there any jobs going at your place? As my job is going to be making me. That sucks. Sorry that I laughed at that. I thought you were joking. Unfortunately not. Unless you're willing to work for free, and I very much doubt that. I mean, maybe what? I mean, if you don't live in the UK, it's even harder. But what kind of artist are you? Because my boss is always somewhat willing to hire freelance. I remember your name, and I remember looking at your work before, but for some reason I have no memory of this place. I live in the UK. Nice. We spoke before. Yeah. I remember speaking before, but I have no memory of it for some reason. That's not. That's more of a me thing. That's not because our conversation wasn't riveting. It's because I'm terrible at remembering things. I'm terrible at remembering useless people. No, I'm joking. Yeah. To go over. So while Aurelius responds. So what I'm doing here is I'm getting one position, which is just the z-axis, and I'm telling it 3 times. So the reason I'm doing it 3 times is probably because I wanted it. So when you have a noise moving only in one direction, right, you will see that moving in that one direction, yeah? So if we had something and we said move in this direction like that, it's going to move exactly like that, right? Now if we tell it, okay, but I want you, am I multiplying it? I'm adding it. I want you to take that value that's going in this direction, also have another value that's going in this direction. Then I also want you to do another value that's going in this direction. So when all of them overlap each other, you'll get this effect that I'm using, which I assume is using an if node at the end. I'm dividing it by 3 there, heck yeah. I'm not using an if. How am I? Oh, I see. So I'm not rounding it first. Okay, that's fine. I guess I'm rounding it afterwards instead of rounding it in here. That's fine. Because if I actually go into my main material, you'll see I'm rounding it probably here. There you go. So it comes from here, and it gets rounded over here. I'm saturating it first to make sure it doesn't go past the value of 1. And then, yeah. So I'm overlaying it 3 times. So because the value shouldn't go above the value of 1, because the noise node by default is between 0 and 1. Look, output. Actually, no. It's actually by default the noise node is a value of -1 and 1. But I defaulted it to 0 and 1, so it can't get above the value of 1. Then when I add it together, we are adding 3 lots together, which gives you the effect of all of them go over each other, then causing an average that causes it to look like foam. Again, I don't know if I copied this somewhere, but I know exactly how it's working. It's then dividing by 3. Because you need to divide it by 3 to then get it back between your values of 0 and 1 instead of the values 0 and 3. Because when you add 3 1s together, you get the value of 3. And if you add 3 zeros together, you still get 0. So at this point here, the value at its max ratio should be 0 to 3. Divide it by 3. Dividing 0 by 3 means it's still 0. But dividing 3 by 3 means it's 1. So now we're getting 0 and 1. And then I can subtract the information to reduce how much foam there is overall, because it rounds afterwards. And then I duplicate this 3 times to do our other surfaces. So this is our Y or a Z, meaning the surfaces at the top of the object. This is our surfaces on X. What are we leaving out? R, B, red is X, B is Z, and G is Y. So that's Y. So like left and right direction, depending on how you perceive it. I guess that could be backwards or forward direction, or it depends how you perceive it. And then this one is doing the backwards or forward / left or right, again, depending on how you perceive it. And then you add all those together to get the effect I'm showing. But as we can see, it doesn't seem to work as well here. Actually, that's not bad. It's definitely different. But it's not bad. Because it shouldn't really affect that if it's generating... If these are still the Z-coordinated generated ones. But it just means that when I rotate it now... I see you can see it, though, in a grid pattern, weirdly enough. But it should generate it on all axes now. So if we want water on a wall, Well, you can. Ah, but the normal maps. Do you see that? The normal maps are still broken in that direction. So we'd have to fix that as well. I don't know what I just did, but I pulled something because did I move my arm? Oh. And why am I always in pain? Pain is temporary. It may last a day, an hour, a month, or even a year. But eventually it will subside. Have you seen that motivational video? Oh yeah, look, we're doing the same here. Absolutely well positioned. R and G. Again, we can't do that because it breaks it. Because it's between... we need it to be a float 2. And it connects to there. So that's just doing one direction. I don't want to have to multiply that 3 times though, right? That seems like a lot of wasted space. Like you'd have to bring that down. Whoops. You'd have to bring that down. Duplicate this 3 times. Well, 2 times because we've already got one. 3 total. Bring that down here so we can cover it. And then at here... Did you append all of them together? I don't think so. I think you'd multiply... Why am I appending it by 1 at the end? Multiply all of them together and then divide by 3, I guess? Oops. Whoa, why did I do that? Do you multiply or do you add? No, we add. What am I talking about? We add it together. Because again, it's surface-based, so they shouldn't really affect each other unless it's a sphere. And then you divide that by 3. I'm not going to save this, or if I am, I just need to remember what I've changed. Plug that in. Oh, it's going to take a long time to load again, isn't it? Oh, I don't know what I did to my arm. What did I just do? What is it? Oh, not my arm. It's sort of around here, my chest. Does that person seriously have 0 viewers? There is no way. This person is so popular on streaming platforms. He's only got 42 viewers? Did he just start? I'm not going to say who it is. So yeah, we're compiling in, so we won't be able to see that. But I'd like to see what that looks like. We'll love to see that. We'll love to see that, Lee. We'll love to see that. So let's get back to Hamlin. My boy Hamlin. And like I said, so we went off a tangent because I was talking about materials, which are very, very important if you want to be material artists. I actually think, personally, becoming level designers, material artists, and VFX artists are probably the direction you want to go these days, especially if you're new, because I feel like eventually we're going to start phasing out, and maybe 3D like prop modelers and everything as well, depending on the style you're going for. Because obviously, when something like Substance Painter, not Substance Painter, Quixel and Megascans have so many free assets, it's a bit hard. If they made a contract with a gun company, how are you going to compete with photoscanned M4A1s versus ones you've made yourself, right? So I feel like, I know it's very discouraging for me to say, but I feel like it's definitely worth learning at the very least how to do a lot of this other stuff like material generation and stuff like that. Because personally, I feel like the direction of the industry is going to be heading more in that way of what they're going to be looking for when they're looking to hire people. Maybe I'm completely wrong. That's a bold assumption comparing to what I think the industry is going to be more in demand for. So what I can do is take a single value. The problem with this is if I have a full blue value in my emission, for example, which I don't admittedly, but if I did, we wouldn't be able to use the R value, right? So I basically just want to take this. Yeah, take this, desaturate it. Actually, if you desaturate, wait, we'll test it down here. Just organize these into folders. So this is the one we're going to be testing. So if I took this desaturate, but I'm pretty sure you can use other nodes to desaturate something. Can you just use the saturate node? Why is my previews not working all of a sudden? Oh, preparing to this. Okay, you can't use saturate. Desaturate, if I put a value of 1 in there, will obviously work, but I feel like that's a bit complex with something so simple. You can cheap contrast, I'm pretty sure, but that's a bit weird. Forcing a cheap contrast just makes something black and white. Wow, I know we're compiling shaders in the other project, but my PC is struggling. So yeah, you can use a cheap contrast to do it. But I feel like that's a bit thingy. So what you'd want to do here now, right? Because my brain instantly I kind of want to keep with the desaturate because it makes more sense, right? My brain tells me use desaturate because that's what I'm doing. I'm desaturating those values completely to make them black and white. Even if I'm adding 2 nodes and this might be considered more complex and it might be a better node, right now that feels like the right thing to do because it makes sense. If someone looked at this shader and went, oh, he's desaturating it. So what we need to do here is I want to separate these out so I have just black and white. I don't want any grays. Now, my first thought was, oh, I can add... This is a terrible way to do it because it was the first thing that came to mind, and sometimes the first thing that comes to mind is not always the best way to do something. I was thinking, oh, if we add 0.94, but 0.49, sorry, 0.49, we'll get these values, and if we round that, anything below 0.5 will be turned to black, and anything above 0.5 will be turned to white. So we would get the value we want. Now, the reason this technically wouldn't work in some scenarios is because if you had a brightness on something at only a 0.1 or a 0.099 or lower, this wouldn't work. And it's just a bit of a roundabout way to do it. And then I remembered, oh, wait, why don't we just use a ceiling or a seal? So, ooh, that gets jagged edges. Oh, it's just when I'm far away. Oh, is that the MIP maps? Oh, what the heck? So a seal should work. I'm hoping that's going to work. It looks really jagged. Hold on a minute. Let me do what I just did a second ago. Why does the seal come out really jagged? All a seal should do is any value that goes above the value of 0 should become a 1 value. Now, that's technically not what it does. What it does is it will make any number round upwards to the next integer or the next whole number, right? So if you have a 0.01, it will make it go up to 1. If you have a 1.1, it'll make it go up to 2. If you have a 1, it will stay at 1. And then if you have anything below, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be anything above a whole number. If it goes just above a whole number or an integer, I think it's the correct term, it will then move up to the next whole number, right? So that's what we want to do here, because it can't go, because we're just using a texture map, it can't go above the value of 1, right? So if I tell it to go, if I tell it to take anything above the value of 0, which is what the seal's doing, and then convert that to a 1 value, we get what we're looking for. We're separating out, we're making that, so anything emissive, and all the items that are emissive in this scene are the chemicals that he's wearing, the potions, the alchemy drinks. What do they call alchemy stuff? What is a alchemy potion called? What do they call potions? Wait, alchemy means the search for the philosopher's stone. Is that actually what it means? Alchemy definition. The medieval forerunner of chemistry, concerned with the transmutation of matter, in particular with attempts to convert base metals into gold or find a universal elixir. Oh, are they called elixirs instead of potion? What is a magical potion called? What are alchemy potions? Old alchemy was base chemistry with the most common goal being making gold. Well, everyone's saying different things. One of them says here it's the search for the philosopher's stone. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So old alchemy was basically chemistry with the most common goal being making gold. And then in brackets, which is ironic because that would massively devalue gold. If you were able to turn anything into gold, then gold wouldn't have any value anymore because anything you touched could be made into gold. Potions, meanwhile, go back to much older. Yeah, see, potions, well, yeah, they weren't alchemy, right? Alchemy can only be. Does alchemy have potions? Where's coming? Alchemy is used to produce magic potions, but it said they were called potions. I thought they were called something else, like elixirs, and then potions were a magical thing. I thought potions had to be magical, like potion definition. I thought it had to have magical properties. Oh, so a potion is anything that's got healing, poisonous, or magical properties. The philosopher's stone is like eternal life, and gold stuffs. That makes sense. Oh, okay. So the meaning of potion is a liquid with healing, magical, poisonous properties. So it doesn't have to be magical. If it has a healing property or a poisonous property, it's classed as still a potion. Really? That seems like a really roundabout definition of it. Okay. So I don't know if this is going to work, but the whole point to doing this... Because look, it just gets really weird. So the MIP map gets affected drastically for some reason. Is it because of the desaturate node? Like if we were to... Let's do cheap contrast instead. And connect it. It is. That is not being affected like as much at all. But that's such a... Look how much there is in here. That's like so bad. There's so many extra nodes for no reason. Oh well. So if we use a seal that ran up to there, then what we want to do is we'll just do a random effect, right? So I'm gonna copy something just off of Google. Apologies. I know I usually make my own things, but we're just gonna go bubbles, tiling texture, turn any metal into gold. It's not just turning metals into gold though, right? It's turning everything into gold. From what I'm aware, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, this is terrible. I thought I was going to get way better bubbles than this. I need like an alpha texture. Alpha? There's like a black and white. Wow, this is awful. Hold on a minute. Substance designer, make bubbles.
So I'm going to do a quick demo of the TFM.
That's Substance Painter. Wait, there's a bubble generator in Substance Painter? Is there? I just want bubbles, mate. Give me bubbles. I don't know. I just want a quick texture. I just want anything that tiles, to be honest. None of these tile. You know what? Back in like 10 years ago, it was way easier to find textures on Google. Now everything seems to be behind a paywall. It's way harder. Which, don't get me wrong, is a good thing, because you should be taking copyrighted things and trying to sell them, right? I'm just using this because I wanted to test a theory on how I want to do something, so I wasn't bothered with how it's going to look. I just use that, I guess. This is a terrible texture, but if it works, it works. Oh, is it not even the right file format? Oh, nice. I can't use it because it's a weird file format. I just want bubbles. You know what? Let's just go one of the cloud materials. Cloud. Actually, you know what? I'm pretty sure you can find a purling noise in here. There you go. Just use the purling noise. All right. Taking your purling noise, all I want to do is pan that. Panner. But I only want it to have a effect on the bubble part. So if we lerp this into here, and then we do this, and then we do base color this. So that should be applying that, right? Oh, we need it reversed. Hold on a minute. So we want you to go into, you're already in there. We want you to go into there, and you to go into there. Yes. And then that looks like a bubble effect. And then we want to multiply that by that because we still want to keep the colors. Yes. Now if I apply that, we should have nothing apparently. What? That did nothing? How did that do nothing? Or am I just not seeing it? No. I also would like to... There's a plugin, a free one I think I had a while ago, where you can get your chemicals to sit upright. If I can animate him and make it sort of chemicals balance, I might be able to figure out how to do it in materials. Because basically I want it to go flat across. It would technically average out, so flat across here. I think that'd be really cool, even though the concept had it looking like this. But it looks more like Play-Doh or something now because it's sitting in the same position. Wait, so why didn't this work? Oh, because I haven't plugged it in, you idiot. There you go. So this is, again, just a point of reference. I just want to see. Nothing, apparently. Now, it is emissive, so you may not see it because it's emissive. So if we find where we're plugging in our emissive as well, which is here, goes into here. So what we want to do is basically do a duplicate of all of this. Uh-oh, not all of that. All of this. This is very messy, I know, but again, practice. We're just making to see if it works. Oh wait, no, that's not right. Wait, no, is that right? Right, yeah. We'll multiply. Oh, I'm an idiot. We're multiplying it. We're plugging this into both spots. We're multiplying it with itself or with the base because we want it to still have that color, and then we're attached that to the emissive, and then we click apply, and we should have a terrible looking purling noise panning across it. Well, it's not panning because I didn't turn up the numbers, but that is working. I could always use a noise effect. I just want it to look different. So nothing else should be getting affected because nothing else has an emissive. It's only affecting whatever has emissive because it's rounding out those emissive values, right? So now what we got to do is click Panner. Wait, I shouldn't have duplicated it, right? No, what I should have done was did this. There you go. And then speed, I don't know, 0.1, 0.1. It really doesn't matter. Wait. Oh, no, that is working. See it? It's panning across that surface. So now... Yeah! Oh, it's... Oh, wow. Right, because it's not world position based. Or because across the UVs. Yeah. Would I want it world position then? I think world position will look weird, wouldn't it? But it's working. Should be doing it here too. No, it's doing it here. And then here. Huh? Why is it doing it there? They're not emissive. I'm being dumb again, aren't I? Yes, I am being dumb. So those need to get magic cork. Those need to be deleted. And then, because I was using that as an example and I forgot I was still using it as an example. And then this needs to be plugged into... But technically, I don't need any of this because I can just reuse this. There you go. Now it should work. Because I want it to change per asset. There you go. So the proof of concept is there. We just need to find a texture we actually like or make one in Designer and have it pan across it. And we might need to do it well position based because that might look a bit nicer. But I also want it to look bubbly. And how would I do that? Maybe I'll have to do like a lava lamp effect. And then the question is, how do I do that? So this is a lot of extra work for one little effect in it, but I think it will make it look really, really cool. So it might be worth it. So if we get rid of all that, we plug you back into there, you back into there. And something I actually want to do is maybe a sign, oh no, divide, sign, multiply, and then plug it into into here, and then change that to And that makes it slower, right? Yes. And we want to add 1 after... No, add 1 and divide 2, because a sign will make a value go between -1 and 1. So if I add 1 and divide it by 2, we then go between 0 and 1, which is what we want. So divide... Ooh, I need more room. I need more room. What is this? Why have I got this here now? Why have I got this here now? Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. It's got a heat shift and everything. What am I being multiplied by? I did this last week, I remember. Was it... I'm gonna open the project a second time and see what I've changed. So what did we change here? Oh, the normals, right? So let's check the normals now. So when I tilted it, the normals got all messed up. So hopefully, oh no, they're still messed up. What? That should have fixed them. Should it have not have? Should it have not have? That's not really a sentence, Steve. So the dots are working. They're working fine. In fact, they're working perfect, not just fine. We're multitasking here, Jesus. Why did the normals not work? We added them all together, then we divided them. That should have allowed us to have all 3 directions. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I didn't enable these on separate ones. There we go. Now we can click apply. No more tears. No more tears. What did I call this stream? The Simpsons UE5 part. Wow, I called this a very incorrect name. I didn't even bother to change the name. I really should have. Water Shader and Hamlin stuff. There you go. I like calling my titles something random now. It makes it feel more streamer-esque. So that's going to sit here and compile now. Hopefully that'll be fixed. Again, I should have made a duplicate of this. Maybe I'll make a duplicate and then not save this one. So that way this one reverts back to normal. And our duplicate... because all I've done is duplicate these so it works on all 3 axes. I've basically converted it to a world position. And the same in here. I've basically converted it to a world position. But I've added a lot of extra nodes, and I can't help but think there's probably a way more optimized way to organize that, but maybe I'm wrong. I will stop streaming in a couple of minutes because we're not picked up much traction, and I want to go play PS5. I bought a PS5. It's right there. Do you see it? You see it? It's like, look how tall it is. It's tiny. It's right there. Look, I can almost grab it. PS5, baby. I like the controller. A lot of people really don't like the controller. But like, it was very comfortable. This nice grip here. Now, you know why? You know why? And people are gonna get mad at me, like, why are you grab like the Xbox controller? Blah, 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 blah. Now, I don't hate the Xbox controller. In fact, I've completed plenty of games using Xbox controller. I've completed probably more games than a lot of people have played in their lives just using an Xbox controller, because I play a lot of games. Now, if I grab the Xbox controller, so it is the 360. I have used the One. I have not used the Series S though. So, but I really liked the PS3 controller. Now, this is the PS5 controller, and I'll tell you why I like it in a minute. The Xbox controller. The way you hold, like even if I got a grip up online, holding, and now it was the same with the PS4 controller, which is the reason I didn't really like the PS4 controller. Holding Xbox controller. In fact, I got a PS4 controller as well. Oh no, poor Xbox controller. So if we look now, people, depending on who you are, you'll understand why this can feel more or less comfortable. Oh, you know what? Some people still hold it like this. But if you look at a lot of the generic holding, I don't know why this is around become a topic, but this is me explaining why I like one controller versus other ones. If you look, so that's Xbox One. Yeah, that's the Xbox One. If you look, a lot of people hold it like this, right? Or like this. They put their, like, pointer fingers, index fingers, on... Now, I call these back buttons, because when I was a kid, they were called back... Like, a lot of people used to call them back buttons, but when I talk to people, back buttons. Look, back buttons. They even call it as a product name on Amazon. Back buttons is what I used to call these, because on PlayStation, it was just R1, L1, R2, L2. Or you could say to someone, oh, it's one of the back buttons, to generalize it, right? If you didn't know what button it was, you say it's one of the back buttons. I'm glad. Wait, maybe I'm wrong. Hold on a minute. No, am I wrong? No, that's like giving you actually buttons on the back. Hold on a minute. What is a back button called? Wait, no. No, it's not agreeing with me. Back button attachment. Oh, mate, I love joysticks. They're way smaller than I thought they were. Huh? Maybe it's because I was a kid when I used it, but that's tiny. That's like Atari, right? Am I wrong? No, these were called back buttons. Back buttons. R1, R2, L1, L2. No. Nobody calls it this anymore. Nobody I talk to even says that they used to call it back buttons, but I used to have loads of friends who called it back buttons. I feel mental when I talk about it. Anyways, that's not the point of what I'm talking about. So, when you hold an Xbox controller, you don't hold it like this, where you've got all your fingers in use. Now, I say that, some people clearly do. So, from this picture, clearly some people do. This picture, no, look, this picture, they're not. This picture, why does that look like they're holding it so weird? That looks really odd, but no, they're doing the same thing. But this picture... Oh, no, this picture they're not either. Hold on a minute. Does it just look like he's got... No, yeah, he's definitely got his fingers on the trigger. So he's holding it like this. Now, this, personally, and I don't know anybody who holds their controller like this, I find uncomfortable. But I like holding a controller like this because I have access to all my back buttons, my bumpers and triggers at the same time. Right? Now, I remember that being really important back in shooting games and into some platformers, because when I wanted to shoot somebody, like aim, throw a grenade, throw a grenade, throw a grenade, throw another grenade. Like, I don't have to move to do something, right? I don't have to move to shoot. Now, if I look at the PlayStation 4 controller, they kind of went in the same direction. I don't know why it feels uncomfortable to do this on the PS4 controller, but it does. It also, I thought the light was on then. Oh, it's the way it's reflected. Now, it feels, at least for me, and I don't know, like, if we say PS4 controller grip, we'll see. PS4 controller grip. Or holding. Holding. Yeah, look, they do the same thing. They only have their pointer fingers doing something actually important. They don't use both their middle fingers and their index fingers, because it doesn't feel very comfortable to do that. Now, if we go to PS3, maybe people didn't used to do it on PS3 either, and maybe it was just me. Or, well, me and my brothers, because my brothers used to do it the same way. So, yeah, people don't seem to hold it... Well, it's hard to say. There's a very small amount of people. I can't tell. I really can't tell. Has he got his middle fingers there? No, okay. So, yeah. I think apparently they didn't used to do it for PS3, but I did. When I had a PS3, I used to have it felt very comfortable to hold my controller like this, right? I enjoyed that. That was very comfortable for me, and it meant I had access to all my buttons. I mean, heck, in some video games, I used to hold the controller like that, and it was called, again, from back in the day, the crab hold. Now, I don't know if that's a recognized term anymore. Crab hold controller? Oh, crap hold. Whoops. Crab hold. Ah! Crab hold. Oh, claw grip. Oh, claw grip. Yeah. That's probably what it's called as well. But, I mean, yeah, there you go. So, when I write crab hold, it comes up. I guess it's because crabs have claws. Maybe that's why it got its nickname. But claw grip. I sometimes hold a controller, depending on the video game, in claw grip. In fact, Dark Souls, I use the claw grip because I still use controllers for PC for stuff like that. So the reason I do it in that is because you've got your attack buttons here, and it means I have access to my dodge and everything, my joysticks, and all. I can press any button at any time with any finger. Whereas if I'm like this, right, I can only either do joystick or buttons, D-pad or joystick. With like this, I have access to all back buttons, all of these with my pointers, and that of my thumbs. I don't know why I'm going so in-depth about this, but I think this is a really, really interesting topic because it's so interesting how people just hold things differently. So if we look, are they doing that? Are they putting all their middle finger and this finger on the back button so they have access to everything? Again, it's hard to tell. I don't know where this finger's actually going. Ah, no. Well, no, he's only half doing the claw grip anyway. Oh, but he is doing it with this hand. Look, he's using his middle finger for R2 or right trigger and his index finger for right bumper. Now, moving on to the PS5 controller, it's such a long conversation. The reason I like this controller already, and I've only had it for a day, is because this controller feels comfortable holding it like this and holding it like this. I feel comfortable holding the controller with all four of my fingers on the back, meaning I can use both triggers and both bumpers, or R2, L2, R1, L1, at the same time, and it feels comfortable. I know that was a really long rant just to say that, but it's like I said, I find it very interesting how small differences in controller design, even though they're kind of the same thing, like if you dug these up in 1,000 years and they were somehow not completely destroyed and deteriorated, you would say these are very similar looking. You wouldn't distinguish that there was going to be a huge difference. Like with Xbox, you might say, oh, look, the joystick is in a completely different location. This is up here. Oh, up here. But if you were to dig up like the PS4, PS5, it doesn't look different enough that you'd think you could hold it in a different grip. And I just find that very interesting. I know I'm a complete geek and nerd by talking about that for about 15 minutes, but what do you think, Megapixel? You've been real quiet since I dropped that. Yeah, so what did I do before? Did I load it back up? No, I didn't. Let me load the project back up a second time just so I can fix what I changed. Because I had a Fresnel effect that made it so the center changed color a little bit because I thought it looked nice. But if I can have them slightly glow. So the small effects you can do in the scene, I always recommend this. Just look at my microphone doing it. The small effects you can do in a scene that gives... I like keyboard and mouse. To be fair, I like keyboard and mouse as well. But I would never use keyboard and mouse for a FromSoft game. It depends on the game. I like using keyboard and mouse for genres that some people would be surprised about. Like, I like using keyboard and mouse for platformers. Not all of them. I played Hat in Time with a controller, but I played Super Meat Boy with keyboard and mouse. I played Celeste with keyboard and mouse. But I played probably another platformer with controller. I can swap out pretty easily. It doesn't usually bother me too much. But driving games, I prefer controller, but I can play that with keyboard and mouse. But FromSoft games, I would not want to touch keyboard and mouse. I think that's just kind of disadvantaging yourself at that point. All right, let me come back in here. Hamlin, what did I do to my boy? You know what's sad about making something from someone else's concept is it will never be yours. And I can't draw, and I don't have the imagination to ever draw or make something unique out of thin air. So in reality, nothing I make is mine because it's coming from somebody else's idea, and that's a little sad. That's sadness right there. Oh wait, and I'm being dumb. I'm so stupid, bruh. This is the opacity. God's sake. This goes into here, then that goes into my emissive. Like, whoops, like that. And then this is our, so what I wanted to do here, right? I wanted to do add 1. Well, I could saturate it, right? Saturate? Is that going to do what I think it's going to do? No. Fine, I'll do what I said I was going to do to begin with. Add 2, which will make it go between 0 and 2. And then divide 2, which is default. Now it should never stay on black. It should fade completely out. It's very slow, but it should fade completely out. Is it? Interesting. Well, it is doing it. It should go to black at the very least, though. What? Why is that not going to black? So I should make it go between -1 and 1. Adding 2. Wait, adding 2. Adding 1. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Adding 1. There we go. So now we're going between the values of 0 and 1. So the problem here. So we're going 0 and 1. What I should probably do. It sounds really silly. I feel like the maths I could do better, but what I'm thinking here is going between 0 and 1, which is a nice value to work with. I could then add 1 to that, even though I just did that, which is going between 1 and 2. Nah, there's got to be a better way to do that. I don't want to do it like that. Because now it's going between 1 and 2. I was going to then... Wait. No. I was going to subtract 0.8. So it's now only going between the values of 0 and 0.2. And then add 1 to that. So now it's going between the values of 1 and 0.2, which means when multiplied, it will boost that power by 20% or go back to 100%. Does that make sense mathematically? So now with the colors of everything, which we have set to 0 right now, so let me just, for the sake of desat emission, for the sake of just showing it off, the value of 1, they should now glow. Oh, right. It should be working. So let's divide this by 10, so it's much slower. If I apply that, we should see a slight glow coming from it now. Oh, when it comes in. I cannot tell. Is it because it's too... Oh, whoa. Did you hear that water sound? Emission. We're at 500, so we should easily see it. Let's instead not subtract anything, so we go between the values of 0 and 1, which should be very, very obvious. He says. Did I click apply? Oh, I might not clicked apply. I think it's working. It's just so slow. Let's not divide it by 10 again, just so I can see it. So this is loading. It's cool because Unreal Engine 5 doesn't completely get rid of your material as it's loading. I see that. See that glow? I like that a lot. I kind of want it to be a tad stronger. So instead of... So it's going... when I subtract that by that, so what we can do is not divide it here, which will make us go between 0 and 2. Right? So you'll see a big difference in glow. See that? Right? And then what we can do is set this to 250 instead, which is the wrong one. That's the one up here. There you go. So it's a bit more subtle, but it goes to a stronger value. And if we go legs, so this would be these ones. Now, I don't want it to glow as much as it is, like as quickly as it is, but we can change that later. Then just 250. Yeah, that's good. Now, I still do want it to not... I don't want it to turn off completely, I don't think. So we're going between 0... Wait. So it's going between -1 and 1. Then it's going between 0 and 2. Then it's going between 1... Oh, no, it's still staying at the value of 1. Oh. It's going between the values of 1 and 3. So it's being boosted by 300% or going back down to just 100%. Cool. That's looking good. It's looking good. Yeah. And then I just want it to be... I think that's too much. I'm looking at it like... So it's what? Between 1 and 3. So what I can do... is going between 1 and 3. I can then just divide it towards the end by like 1.5. So if it's going between 1 and 3, divided by 1.5 means it'll go between 1 and... 2. Right? So we plug that in... So it's going to be boosted by 100% instead. Yeah, that's a bit more close to what I want. Right. Right. And then we want to divide it by more. So we have this effect to be slower. Dividing it by 4, make it 4 times slower. And you should see when it loads. You see that? Now he's got some glowing. These ones are way more noticeable than these ones. Yeah, these you can barely notice. Hold on a minute. Torso. I like how we've spent an hour just making some chemicals glow because I went over to my other project and then got obsessed with doing stuff in there. Did we fix it though? The normals are still not working, right? Are they? Hold on a minute. Let's swap it to other normal map. And scale it. Am I seeing a flicker of something coming in there? Oh. 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 Oh, I need to also do the same thing with the particles. Yeah, that's tiling, right? How does it look on a flat surface? So it's like I've lost... Oh, yeah, look. Oh, it's multiplied the scaling, and then it's giving it a weird... Oh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just say no to that at the moment. Or you know what? Like I said, we're going to get you... Because, again, I want to make this work universally. I think the better we get this, the more... Well, more people might buy it, but I might not put up its price rate. I just might go, here you go, guys. For people who have it, I've updated it, so you get more stuff. So if I do a duplicate of this and we go world aligned, just to signify that I mean it's all world aligned, I'll let it compile shaders first, just in case you need to let it compile first before I quit, and then I'll quit it and not save our original material. So that way we have a duplicate with the new stuff in it. Because if worst comes to worst and I can't make it universal, I can always make a separate material that only works when you want to make it like a planet of water and stuff. Or not even a planet. If you want to make it... Because water... Obviously, water tends to stay... When you fill something up with water, it will stay at a level, right? It's not going to... Like, even when I tilt it, look, it will stay at a level. So that's why usually with water, you can get away with only making all the textures work on just upwards facing, because it's going to be flat. But at the end of the day, it's stylized. So if you wanted a river that bent over like this, because you think it would be a cool effect, who am I to tell you no, you can't do that? So I want to make it so it's dynamic enough to allow you to do that. Did my phone just go off? I swear I just saw my phone light up. There's actually a word for when you feel your phone. If you feel your phone in your pocket, maybe I'll find it. The sensation of feeling your... Oh, I spelled that incredibly wrong. Feeling your phone in your pocket vibrating when it hasn't vibrated. Phantom vibration syndrome. Wow. PVS refers to the false protection that one's mobile phone, or false perception, sorry, that one's mobile phone or other technology devices is vibrating when it is not, most often associated with excessive mobile phone use. It has been described as a tactile hallucination as the brain perceives the vibration that is not present. I have a friend watching the stream. Maybe I shouldn't out him like that and say that to you guys, but yeah, I have a friend watching the stream. Man, I missed when I first started streaming. I've been doing it, what, like 4 or 5 years now? Because I had friends who would join me for it. And that was really nice. It was really nice having my friends sometimes join me for a call when I was streaming and stuff. It's, for the last, like, 2 years, maybe even 3 years, it's kind of just been a solo journey. Which is it's a little sad, you know. Like, it was nice having that thing I could do with a friend and stream it, and we could talk about random subjects while we were going along. But you know, I there's no what's the one I'm looking for? Nothing against my friends. Like, at the end of the day, I have nothing against them. They have their own lives. You don't have to come and watch me stream or stream with me. It'd be nice, but it's just one of those things, isn't it? So if I put this at a really high value, would you see that? You can see the glow change. It's way more subtle. You know what? Maybe I'll leave it at 500 because you can see it a bit clearer there. Like, you can see it way clearer on these ones. You know what? I'm just going to say, if my friend is actually watching the stream, I'll just say on stream, he messaged me asking me a question. So, he asked me about why I swapped to Blender over Maya. So, for those of you who wasn't with me when I used Maya, I used to just primarily use Maya. Now, I used Blender when I was 13 years old, all the way up to the age of about 18. Now, I didn't use it very much. It was only a hobby. I probably used it once every month. But I found Blender fascinating because it was a 3D modeling package. When I went to university, they used Maya, a software I consider pretty bad. The reason I consider Maya bad is mostly because of the price tag attached to a software that crashes all the time. Now, Blender's a free software. When Blender crashes, no, annoying. But it's free. I'm being offered this service for free, so it's not that annoying. Now, I will add this, Blender doesn't crash as often as Maya anyways, but even if it did, Maya is a software made by professionals. If it's made by professionals, how have they got so many bugs in it that causes it to crash all the damn time? Some people may disagree and say they never have crashes, and for those of you who say that, you clearly don't use it enough. I can't imagine anybody doesn't have regular crashes on Maya. I don't have a single friend who used Maya who wouldn't say they had regular crashes. Now, that's not the only reason, despite that being a sour point to why I don't like. So another reason is the pricing. Maya is £240 a month for the full version, or £30 a month for the light version, or you can get the indie version. I've never done that before, but I hear it's not that difficult, for £300 a year for the full version, which is still, which is about £24 a month. So it's like paying for the light version, but get the full version. Now, Again, I don't know how difficult that is, and it is hidden a little bit. It's not too front and center like the full bread one. The reason, so that the price also is a bit more of a deterrent when Blender's around the corner and it's a free software. Blender, quite frankly, offers more. And I don't know, someone could fight me on that and tell me no. Now, if you want to be an animator, Maya offers quite a lot. But when it comes to 3D modeling, Maya offers quite a lot in animation. Maya doesn't offer a lot at all in the 3D modeling department. It offers all those basic tools that you're very happy with using. Extrude, edge loops, inserts, bevels, subdivisions. It also offers it offers deformers, like bend deformers. It offers curves, NURBS, are they called? Stuff like that. And it offers the ability to convert them. It offers mirror tools. Hey, how are you doing? Are you using mesh distance fields with your water shader by any chance? I am ASM. If you wasn't here a second ago, I was literally using my water shader. I was testing things. This is kind of broken at the moment, if you can't notice. But what I was testing... So kind of working here. What I was testing is I kind of want to make my water be able to be put on any axes. So it's not... I'm trying to make it world position based. So right now I can move this in any direction and it will work. But it is a little broken when you have it still flat. So I need to resolve that. But what that would allow you to do... Really? Mesh distance fields doesn't work for you? You've not got an empty project with just terrain in it, do you? Because that, for some reason, won't load your distance fields if you have that case. That is odd, actually, because distance fields are how Unreal Engine 5 render ambient occlusion. You don't have the old ambient occlusion method anymore, from what I'm aware. So disable distance fields. Oh, unless this is the reason. If you've got an asset and all you can see is the distance field, click your object and disable distance fields on the object that's supposed to be receiving distance fields. So that could be your problem. So as you can see, look, when I rotate this, the textures won't move. And because it's like a sphere, I could say, look, oh, it's a planet. And then if I grab objects, Jesus, I could place them on it. And we could make a little planet with like little islands, right? Which I think is really, really cool. So that's what I've been doing this stream. Is been trying to make this a world position material because I think that'd be really cool. And then when sight goes inside it, you still have the distance field effect. So as you can see, he's there, and as you get closer, you'll see through it, which might need to be disabled depending on what you're going for. But you should be able to disable that yourself in the settings. But yeah, that's what I've been working on this stream. But I'm going to close this, and I'm going to make sure... What do I need to change? Oh, wait. I just realized something. I can't save it. Right. So, I need to go to... I want to revert all the changes I just did. But the problem with doing that... I just made a duplicate, right? Where is it? Water test. World aligned. Right. World aligned. For me, it shows all blurry for all objects. Oh. If you jump into Discord, I might be able to resolve it for you. I'll do it off stream, though. So if I come into here... I'm telling you like I'm explaining it. So I need to basically make a copy of this and then put that in the new world line. Because I don't want to save everything like I just said. I just want to save the bits I changed because I've kind of broken it at the moment. So if we duplicate that and just call it world aligned... I'll throw that. I'll throw... What? Why was it coming up X's? Huh? It come up like an X to say I couldn't put it in. That was really odd. I'll throw that into there, and that should work. Click goodbye to that. Oh yeah, and the last reason why I don't use Maya is, like I said, is Blender has a modifier shelf and stuff like that. Blender just has more tools to allow you to 3D model. Quite frankly, like there's no question about it. Blender has more tools to 3D model with, and it's more flexible with its 3D modeling. It's annoying having switched to a new software having been so used to Maya. Plus, I don't know what studios use Blender. Because a lot of stuff's work from home now, you'd be surprised how many give you the flexibility of using, well, at least in the UK, of using what software you just happen to have on hand. Because obviously, if you can generate something, why would it matter? Does that make sense? Like, why would it matter what software you're using? If I'm like, oh, Steve, make a mobile phone in 3D software and export it to UE4. If I'm able to do that in Blender, 3ds Max, or Maya, why does it matter which one I'm using, right? Now, that will depend on the studio, because if the studio says to you, oh, but we need your files accessible for anybody to jump in, and everybody else is using Maya, then they might force you to use Maya because everyone else is using it. So what I want to do here, one, I want to make sure this is working as a material, and then after I do that, so that's the, wait, no. Wait. Oh, new, here you go. So as the waterline version, I'll put on, oh my god, what? Plain, there you go. I'll put on, oh, I don't even need it as a blueprint anymore. Oh. My god, it's got a lot of different settings on it, doesn't it? I forgot about that. So if we do this, well, the default settings kind of suck. I should change them over to make them really good. So if we go Lagoon, I can replicate the settings. We've got that different. So I like the Lagoon colors. I think they're very nice. Do that, 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 that. And then we want 2 amount of foam, 25, 22, 5, 92, 22, 5, 92, 7, oops, 7. 6. Go fine. Uh, 5. Oh no, that's not good. Oh, 555. Sorry. There you go. Oh, you can see the normals working there. That's cool. Like how they wobble. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Water roughness 0. I think everything else is mostly the same. We just need the lines different now. Transparency, I think, is the same. Water sparkles are the same. Yeah, the amount of lines are 4, 80, and 3. You can't see what I'm doing because I'm on another monitor, but it's fine. 4, 80, 3. Cool. There you go. Now we have a replicant material. And this one is using our world position, while these ones are using our not world position. What I'll do is I should really have that as a separate piece over here. So when I actually do push this to the store with new improved stuff, I can, if I need it, I can have it as a separate material. Or I can have it as a switch in my material, where there's a switch that basically says it, swap from single direction to world position, triplanar, whatever. It depends what I want to call it, if I want to have it as 2 separate settings. So I'll come back into here and I'll swap this back over with just our Lagoony Lagoo. Gooby. Like that. And there we go. I actually removed planar reflections from my thingy because people were freaking complaining too much about them. It's not their fault. If you don't know what planar reflections are, they can be very demanding for the engine. And look, they basically improve your reflections, right? I say that, their reflection's terrible. Oh, it's because it's huge. There you go. They should improve your reflections. That's not reflecting in the right way. Am I crazy? Or is that how it would reflect? They should improve your reflections. I mean, it does look better. You see it like have a wobbly effect in the water, whereas this one, it like disappears when you get close. So what I'll do now... Hey, moderate. So, what the heck is behind object? Oh, right. Don't save behind object. So what do I not want to save here? Water test scene, water test scene. I don't think I want those. Oh, that's the scene itself. That's the map, yeah. Material, I don't want to save foam bits. I want to save the water line. I don't want to save water. I want to save the waterline water. I want to save the waterline water instance. New water. I don't want to save those. New water test. I don't want to save those. And I don't even remember changing the old waters, so we won't save those. Cool. All I want to save is the new ones we added. So the map needs saving, the foam bits, which is the new material function, and the new world aligned water and the water instance. Save. There you go. And I think Steam VR crashed. Nice. I think we'll be calling it a day. Oh, wait. What I'm version you in? That was 4.27. Screen space reflections all day, every day. How dare you? Lumen reflections all day, every day. I can't use lumen reflections on... Well, I can. Did you get Hamlin dying? I did. I didn't even touch Hamlin. I went on a tangent and started working on my water shader. I was making my water shader world aligned. So I'll quickly get it back up to show. I'll get it back up to show you. Because it's kind of interesting how it's working. Come on, Epic. I hate Epic. Like the launcher, it's so laggy. Like sure, I've got about 30 projects in here. Sure. But it shouldn't just freeze for like 8 seconds. And the search bar barely works. It's working today. It doesn't work so often. Oh no, you know what? That water shader is 4.25, sorry. Because I kept it at a lower version. Because you can import older version stuff into newer version Unreal Engines, but you can't do the reverse. Can you quickly show me how to model a shotgun? Oh, yeah, hold on a second. The normals are really weak here. Am I crazy? Which, this is the original. So that shouldn't have saved any of that information, right? Let's just make sure. Go launcher, the respect it deserves, shape up. I do not want to show it the respect. It doesn't deserve my respect. It's not earned it. Don't you make me respect something that has not earned my respect. Anyways, yeah, so that's not saved, and this should be back to its original self. Sweet, cool. So that is fine. The normals do look very weak, though. I personally like the other normals. I would show you if it wasn't updating texture streaming. Why? Why? What's wrong? Why are you updating text streaming? There you go. Yeah, being in Unreal for 6 years, love the program. Oh, yeah. I love Unreal. I don't love the Epic launcher. Unreal, amazing for... it could be annoying at times, but amazing for... especially being free software. I actually prefer this material. So I should really make this the default one, because putting this on, changing the scale to lower... Lower? Yeah, lower, and then changing the strength up to about 0.6, I believe. Yeah, I think that's a really nice effect. I think that looks very stylized. See that? I think that looks super nice. And you can obviously change that to whatever you want. So you turn up the scale and make it like much smaller. That's the whole point to the shader, right? Is like I've given you the freedom to do with it what you want, and you can change the speed so it like moves a lot. Whoa! So it's not really running water because it's just bits going over each other. So 0.2 at that scale looks really cool because you just got like the effects going over each other. But I think 0.15 might be better. Anyways, so you can mess around with that as you want. What I'm showing moderate real fast is I won't save that anyway, even though that's a cool effect. So this is different than this. You can actually tell how it's generating. Can you? Can you tell how it's generating? So if I were to move this aside, the normals break. And the foam breaks. So this foam doesn't break because that's just distance fields, but the little generated foam that you see breaks. However, on this one, the normals, even though they look kind of weird, they do rotate. I just need to find a better way to make them actually be well positioned, but they do rotate. And the most important one, the actual foam rotates with it, right? Yeah, look, the normals look a bit weird. I can make that look better. It just takes time. Now, why that's cool, and again, I showed this twice earlier, but I'll show it third time. Is make that bigger. I always worry about inverting the scale because I don't know if the normals get inverted, like they do in like Blender and stuff. So if we grab the material I have on this, And then, so this breaks intentionally. I've said that quite a few times, but this is supposed to break. If we turn off distance fields, you need to turn off distance fields on the object that's going to be receiving it. Now, one annoying thing is because of the way that transparency works, it will kind of break. I'm glad I noticed that again, because I should be fixing it. So when it's two-sided, it lets you look up and see it. When it's not two-sided, it's obviously not going to let you do that. But in this scenario, we need it not to be two-sided when it's on something like a planet, because you don't want to be able to see through it. Now, this issue wouldn't persist if you actually had a planet inside it, probably. But an easy fix right now is to turn off two-siding. So we've got to wait for 85 shaders to get done, so that takes like 5 minutes. Did you do this for my mum? No, is your mum a 3D artist? I didn't even know. I know who you talk about. No, I didn't do it for him. I did it because I don't know. Maybe he indirectly influenced me to do it, but I did. I've wanted to make it well positioned for a while, because I actually had a video. Someone sent me a video quite a while ago of them wanting it to be on a slant. And as I said earlier, you don't usually get water on a slant. I guess on a river, no, not really. I guess technically it does go downhill on a stream, but you don't usually get water on a slant in general, because obviously it equalizes to be flat. It won't work for him regardless, though, because he needs distance fields, right? And you can't use distance fields in the mobile version. So he would have to generate his distance fields with something like depth fade, which is how I get this effect where you get the different color going in. So he could generate his foam. You could tighten that up and generate his foam that way. But the problem with doing it with a depth fade is the depth fade changes to the position you go in, because all depth fade is doing is how far away the object is through the object, right? So if we actually were to place an asset here, look, as I get further away, it will be almost transparent. Oh, here you go, transparent. And all a depth fade is doing is telling you how close that object is through the object, kind of. It's the fade in depth, I guess. It kind of means what it says, right? How much depth there is after it's gone past the objects, in a way. Yeah, so he could do it that way, but the problem is it won't generate as well as distance fields, because it will change depending on where you look. And if you want this effect where they're coming out, like you've got this like flowing, pushing out effect, when you move, that will change how it looks depending on the position you're at. So it might look a bit funky, which is why when I was originally making material, I didn't tackle it from a depth fade perspective, because I knew it wouldn't really work. Anyways, so if you see here, moderate, so all the normals should be roughly working. I mean, when you get close, it gets transparent. Ooh. Should be roughly working. They are a bit janky, like I said, but they can be fixed, I believe. And then watch. Whoa. Whoa. It should completely work. And if I had it in the middle, you'll see it underwater over there. And as the fade gets deeper, because as you go around the like horizon of the sphere, there's more depth to it because it becomes thicker from a further angle. And look, whoa, it should disappear. So if you did want to make like a tiny planet now with this effect, you should be able to. And then you can always adjust your values to represent what you're looking for more. That's really cool. Yeah, I've wanted to do one position stuff on it for a while, but the problem is I'll show you why. I kind of knew how I wanted to stack it, but it definitely isn't the most optimized way to do it. Because the way it was originally done is all my shaders, all the well positioned stuff I have is only on Z direction. Because it's easy to get something to work on Z direction because it's only a float 2 value. Well, maybe it counts as a float 1 because it's only using your B value or an inverted B value. So if we look down here, for example, my normals, we won't look at the normals actually. So look, if we look how much more complex this is. This looks like this. Before, I made it world position. Because all of this does your one direction. That does your Z direction, right? The reason there's 3 lots, because you could technically generate it with just this. The reason there's 3 lots is because I'm taking a noise node and I'm making it go over each other in 3 different directions to generate a randomized effect on the foam, right? So yeah, overlaying it 3 different ways is the easiest way to do that. So now I'm having to duplicate that 2 more times to do your Y's and then to do your X's. So that way it does your whole calculation for all 3 axes. But I would like to figure out a way to do that a bit more optimized. Like, there's got to be a way where I don't need all of this extra stuff and I can get it all here and I could just do all 3 of my directions in one go and I don't have to master them out. I can't think right now how you would do that. There's probably a very simple way and I can't think of it. I mean, if we go a world align blend, we have a look in here. How did they do it? That doesn't look like that'd work at all. Hold on a minute. That's not usually the one I use, to be fair. World align texture. Ah, that's a bit better. So take your texture. Got absolute world position. Clear material offset. Input world position V vector. Oh, what is that? Oh, it's just an input. Free vector. Divide. That should... Wait. That's mask. Oh, that's your 3 different values. Right, so that's all the information, and that's your 3 different values. Oh, no, they're doing it the same way, essentially. They're taking 3 separate values, like I've done. Look, GB, RB, and RG, which is exactly how I've done it. RG, RB, GB. And they're taking that and using it into textures. And then all they're doing after... And then the reason mine looks way more complex is because I want 3 different noise maps to be panning over each other, where theirs is just a texture. So no, maybe there isn't a more simple way to do it. Maybe this is the way to go. It just looks overly complex. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. I will be streaming again on Sunday, and I will be playing PlayStation for the rest of the night, because I bought a PlayStation 5 yesterday, and I've barely got to play it, and I've downloaded Demon's Souls. I've wanted to play Demon's Souls for 2 years. 2 years? I think that's how long it's been out for. I've wanted to play it for 2 years. I've played almost every FromSoft game. I think they had like one from freaking... Well, actually, no, I didn't play the original Demon's Souls. So I've played every FromSoft game from Dark Souls 1. So Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Sekiro. I've technically played Bloodborne, but I want to play that again because I have a PlayStation 5, sorry. The PlayStation 4, I know people are going to call me just snobby for saying this. I found it difficult to play it on the PS4 because there was no anti-aliasing and it was only 30 FPS. However, on the PS Pro, it was better performance. So, Bloodborne, PS4 versus PS4 Pro. And again, people are going to call me a snob for this. I just didn't like the... it wasn't the 30 FPS that got me. It was the addition of no anti-aliasing. The jagged corners and everything just threw my vision off. As someone with terrible vision, I just didn't like looking at it. Oh yeah, and there was frame drops all the time in the original PS4, which also didn't help its case. Does Bloodborne run? There you go, wait. Oh, and I should be able to play it in 4K, which would be cool. Is there not an actual post about its performance difference? Bloodborne doesn't get much... What if I write this first PS5? Maybe I'll get an Xbox too, who knows? Oh, do you not get... I thought you got 60 FPS on the PS Pro. Maybe I remember that. There's definitely a... There was definitely a boost on the PS4 Pro, because I remember everybody talking about it when I worked at Game. I see people are saying here it's the same FPS as PS4 Pro. So what's the difference in PS4 Pro? Bloodborne, PS4 plus PS4 Pro. I know there's... I've got to be able to find something somewhere. can't I find anything on this? Everyone was talking about it years ago. Well, when I was working a game. PS4? No. Maybe it was just more constant frame rate. Surely your terrible vision is a natural age. To be fair, you're right. You'd think so. I actually have a lazy eye, believe it or not. Oh, hold on a minute. Apparently they fixed in an update. FromSoft notorious 30 FPS stutter fixed. From the studio's 2014 debut, they fixed it in a recent update. Wait. Bloodborne runs 30 FPS on PS5, but performance is more solid than on PS4. Wait. Oh, wait. Apparently Sekiro gets 60 FPS. That's weird, but it didn't upgrade Bloodborne. Weird. I'll probably be fine with the FPS. Like I said, it was the combination of everything. I remember frame drops, FPS, and no anti-aliasing. But if it just fixed the frame drops, maybe that'd be enough for me to be... Oh, apparently, yeah. I'm looking here that they patched it and made the performance better recently. Does Bloodborne run at 60 FPS on PS5? Oh, that's a shame. No, it doesn't. What did they upgrade then? I remember the PS4 Pro having a huge... Oh no, I'm getting different responses now. This response says you can get a smooth 60 FPS. Whatever, I'm gonna go play games. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. Hope you enjoyed me ranting about random subjects. You missed my rant, moderate, about why I like the PS5 controller, at least my initial reaction to it, more than the Xbox 360 and Xbox One, because I've used that as well, and more than the PlayStation 4. But my favorite controller in the PlayStation series before was the PS3 controller. Oh, and technically the PS2, because they're basically the same design. You would understand if you watched previously. You'll understand the reason why I like the PS5 more than the Xbox. Yeah, I just don't agree. You know why? I'll tell you this as well. One big reason I hate the Xbox One controller, I prefer the 360 to the Xbox One. Why does the Xbox One have the thickest triggers? I never understood the idea of having a trigger that looks like a gun trigger, because I don't just play shooting games. And why do I need to feel like I'm pulling a trigger? I think that's silly. When I press A to jump, it's not the shape of feet. I don't know. I don't get it. I've never got the idea of triggers, which is another reason why I know that they curve them upwards now, but I still find that way more comfortable. But I know that Xbox One is thicker, but it's so thick, bro. But if you went back, you'd see why I prefer PlayStation. It's a very minor reason, and it's very personal preference. The Xbox controllers are still a fantastic controller. I want to clarify that to everyone right now. Every controller since like the PS2, I think have been, even the PS1 controller was fine, have been very good controllers. I don't think I've used a bad controller except maybe the Switch, but I personally find the Switch quite, I don't find it comfortable. I just don't find it uncomfortable, right? That's how I feel about the Switch. I don't find it uncomfortable, but it's definitely not a comfortable controller. But that's, yeah, every controller I've used since like the PS1 has been comfortable. A lot of people like the Nintendo 64, even though it's got like a joystick in the middle, and then it's so awkward to use on some games. And what other controllers are comfortable? Why would you say the 4 feels cheap though? This feels great. Like it's solid weight. Like, in fact, it's heavier. Is it? Hold on a minute. I mean, this isn't a wireless one. I assume the wireless one's going to be way heavier because of the battery in the back, to be fair. So it's, yeah, this is way lighter. GameCube controller was terrible? Question mark? I can't remember. What was the GameCube controller? Maybe I'm thinking of the Nintendo 64. Well, oh, Game Boy. Whoops, GameCube controller. Oh, it was an improvement. It's really light. This isn't really light. This is not. I mean, to be fair, the Xbox One controller is a chunky boy, so it's a bit of an unfair comparison to say it's lighter when it is just significantly smaller in general than the Xbox One controller. But I wouldn't say this feels cheap. This is a lot of technology in it. The grip, the rubber feels nice. The smooth feels nice. These solid back buttons. You got your touchpad. Touchpad isn't the best feeling thing in the world. And then the other plastics are hard plastic. So I don't know why you'd ever get a feeling of cheapness holding a PlayStation controller. In fact, the wired Xbox controller definitely feels... That's the PS4 controller. This is the PS5 controller. PS5 controller... You know what? PS5 controller feels really nice. And it's mainly because of the way that they designed the grip at the back. I feel like when you've got a bumpy, rough surface... and that fades off to a smooth surface, that always, for me, feels like it's a much higher quality plastic. Even though it's probably a very simple effect to replicate, it just makes it feel nicer. Rubbers feel nice. Yeah, they feel good. The buttons are like coated in glass, like a glassy not glass, probably just a transparent plastic, but that feels quite nice. Yeah, the plastic feels pretty good. Yeah, PS5 controller feels pretty good. Xbox 360 controller feels like the cheapest, but it is probably because it is the cheapest controller at the free. And it's also a much older controller. I will give you that the PS3 pre-DualShock controller felt cheap. Have you seen the detail grip? Detail grip. It's little PS. The what? The what? Oh, and it's got a lot of hardware in this too, right? Oh, well, to be fair, it's got a lot of hardware in the PS4 one as well. The PS4 has a gyro. Oh. No, I don't know if Xbox has gyro. It's gyro. It's a shame that most games don't use it. It's got a touchpad. It's got... It's not got haptic triggers, but it does have, like, sensitive triggers. I don't know... Now... PlayStation controllers used to have touch-sensitive buttons. Like you could, if you press them harder, it would indicate that you're pressing them harder. Now, I don't know if they do that anymore, because the last game that did that I can recall was Metal Gear Solid 4. So definitely a PS3 controller. Wait. Yeah, PS3 controller could do it. The PlayStation controllers have pressure-sensitive buttons? Oh, PS3. I know PS3 do. Okay, so the PS4 controllers. Oh, wow. So they removed it. Wait, no, did they? Because that was a cool feature. When you played Metal Gear Solid, I know I said I was going to end the stream, but I like talking about controllers. When you played Metal Gear Solid, if you held the square button, like pushed it all the way in, you'd aim your gun and go freeze. And the person would put their arms. If you let go of the button slowly and slowly release the pressure, your character would put his gun down, so Solid Snake. If you pulled your finger off of the square button quickly, he'd shoot. And that's how you'd shoot in Metal Gear Solid. You hold square and let go fast to shoot. So if you wanted to shoot, you just press the button. You press, shoot. Was it square? It must have been square, yeah. Square's a weird button to shoot, I know, but back then it was common ground to use all different buttons to do stuff. And that was a really cool feature, right? And I think it also meant you could have pressure-sensitive jumps, so you could jump higher by pressing a little bit. Not the length of time you're pressing it, like most platformers will do now, but actually how hard you pressed it. But from what I'm reading, they removed it in PS4. DualShock doesn't use press-sensitive face buttons. Wow! That's interesting. So, I guess because no games used it. The texture on the plastic is little... Oh. Well, on what? Have you seen the detail grip? Is it called the detail grip? Like, am I missing something here? Like, is it like a grip you can get for the controller? Oh, wait, no. Are you telling me? No. Are you telling me that this has? No way. I can't, my eyes aren't good enough. Enhance. Oh, my camera's not good enough. My camera's really not good enough. Jesus. Like, I can't tell. It looks like they're little. Yeah, that definitely looks like it is. I got close up here that someone took. Look. That's awesome. What the heck? That's such a random detail. Oh my god, that's so cool. Yeah, this has like a microphone built in, which is cool. It's got a speaker built in, so you can play the game through your speaker. So if you had a monitor and you're playing a game, you could have audio and audio inputs, so talking to other players, all through your controller. You've got a touchpad here. You've got haptic feedback buttons, which are really weird because I was playing the game and you have to. It's really strong. Like it really fights back when you're trying to do something. No, I think that is on the controller. Yeah, the more I look at it... Oh, yeah, definitely. This angle, I can see it. Yeah. I can see the X, square, triangle. I don't see square. I don't see... Wait. X, circle, square, and triangle. Yeah. It is on the controller. That's freaking sick. I can't remember what I'm saying now. But I want to end the stream. Stop distracting me. I'm ending the stream. I'm going to go play video games. Play video games. Don't tell mum. I'm not doing homework. Don't tell mum. I will catch you guys next time. Bye. Oh, if I can remember where my stream icon is. There you go. Bye.